I'm KC.
I'm Tyler.
And you're listening to
the Element Podcast.
Every once in a while. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, KC Smith. This is the Element Podcast brought to you by First Light Gear, and this is Tyler Jones.
Speed.
That's right, man. If you want to hear some fast talking, I can do it. Sound like a gadwall with your head just buried
See that
up.
5 on that aerial? That was my
deer.
number in high school. That means that I need to hunt that
That's
property.
one of them Indian smoke signal
That's
things
a
right
5
there.
for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, right now, Tyler is about neck deep in some Onyx because he's convinced that we're going to be able to find an East Texas deer lease.
No.
And
I mean, yeah.
it's I kind of undulate. Not ungulate, but
no,
undulate.
you're not an ungulator.
No.
You're an undulator.
On if it's going to actually happen.
Undulate.
I think we could find a place to lease. It's just I don't know if we're going to find something that suits their needs.
Yeah. What are your needs?
Well, there's 5 of us here in the room. The core 5, as it's been known.
Golly, Brian's hurting right
He's
now.
going to be mad. He's going to listen to this like today.
This place looks like Kentucky or Virginia.
It does. Well, he has plenty of East Texas places to hunt, so I don't want to hear it from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's fine.
Man, you
Okay.
know, you start getting
But
never mind.
the 5 of us here need a place to deer hunt in East Texas. And we shall hunt some public land within 3 hours of home, maybe. And that'll probably happen, but man alive, is it just a beat down. And we have to work all day, and sometimes it would be nice just to be able to work till, 2 or 3 and then go hunting and not feel like you're driving halfway across the earth just to make it to some, forest or something.
3,000 acres. People don't own that stuff here in Texas.
They
East
do,
Texas.
right there.
That is wild.
Yeah, I know it, man.
Man, I'd be interested also in buying some of these properties for about $10 an acre.
I don't think you're going to lease them for that. If you're out there and you know stuff about leasing and deer leasing, send us a message on Instagram because I found one a while ago that was $50 an acre for a big property. That doesn't make any sense to me. That sounds like astronomically high.
Dude, here's the deal.
It's like this, man.
It's like this. People make more money than we do.
Yeah?
And I think that it's just normal for, like, dudes that work in Dallas, some of them that have pretty good jobs, just be like, oh, we can shove, 20 hunters on this place for everybody have 100 acres, and your feeder and your stand, and you pay $5,000, and you get to hunt out there and kill a buck or whatever. It's like no big deal. And it's kind of like the way – and then the landowners, there's always going to be landowners that are a little more greedy than others, and they're going to end up charging prices like $50 an acre.
See, here's the
So,
deal is that
they're going to be out there.
It kind of frustrates me that not that people charge that much because you can ask whatever you want to for your private property. It's your prerogative, but it does kind of stink a little bit that there's like a wealth discrepancy so great that people will pay stuff like that, and then it ends up making prices that high.
You got to vote socialism, dude.
That's it. We just all need – everything's public. That's the new rule. Everybody – 2024, we're treating it all like public land. Y'all go first. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, to me, ground should be $10 an acre, but I might be wrong.
Yeah. I feel like that's not an unreasonable thing. I mean, I also feel like, a jar of peanut butter shouldn't be $8.49 at, Berkshire's or whatever, but it was.
I feel like in real estate, the bigger the acreage, the cheaper per acre things get. But in the lease world, it doesn't seem to be that way because you can just add more people.
Yeah.
And so, it gets kind of difficult because it's hard to find something that, fits your needs because you start looking too far from home, and then you're like, oh, 4,000 acres, I'd love to hunt that, but you got to have 17 people to fill the 4,000 acres to make it affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it tough. But
ain't fun. Some things, I don't know, man. I just want a decent place to hunt, but at the same time, like I don't want to be the guy that's just not satisfied with some stuff. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that and talking about it this morning. Just like I just want to make sure, you know, I think it's good to push and try and work hard and stuff like that and try to find places, but I also just don't want to be the grass is always greener on the other side kind of guy either, you know. So I don't know. It's just so difficult, man, because I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, I guess, you know, but I am complaining that leases are high.
Yep. It's true. What really frustrates me is that I have around 20 acres and I can't really kill a deer on the place. Or a buck.
I hear you that.
I didn't have a legal buck on my property all deer season long.
I had a couple. I don't know if I had a couple of daylight pictures of both of them, and they were batch grouping together.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to pass the bigger antlered one, but the deer was really young, and you could probably pull the sound clip if we had a Mr. Producer or something on the show that could do that. But there's probably a clip of me out there saying he's going to get smoked, but I've decided I'm going to pass him somewhere like last October, and he got smoked.
Yeah, he was destined to get smoked because he let 7 dudes stand 35 yards from him on the ground while he ate corn.
He sat there and watched him. That was fun.
It was fun, actually. It just isn't fun that he's not there anymore. But, you know, what are you going to do? Buy more land?
I can't afford to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking at leases. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm going to end up hunting public land next year.
Yeah, man, it's the Texas thing a lot too, right? Where a lot of states you go to, the public ground is pretty promising. And then Texas, it's tough. I mean, you don't have much ground that you can even whitetail hunt on. You have the national forest stuff, which is my least favorite, you know. But
why's that?
It's just in a area of Texas where deer don't grow very big and they're not very densely populated.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's so strange being in a state that is known for deer hunting, and then also, I mean, y'all know we do this for a living now, right? Like having to travel out of your state to go kill deer. It's a weird deal.
It is, man. It's I mean, but the concept goes way back for you and I.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when was the last time you had a lease in Texas before this year?
It was 2002 or 2003, I think. One of those two. I can't really remember. I was in 7th grade. I remember that. And
it's about the same for me.
Yeah. I think I found that lease. Well, I was looking around for leases, and I think I found it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's cool.
It was, I think it's $2,800 a gun, which ain't too bad.
And one of these days, I need to talk about that. I may have told the story on the podcast before, but I should tell it again about that time I bought that property and had to give it back.
Isn't that the corner right there?
It's somewhere right in here, yeah.
That's right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
That's probably right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
This is hilarious at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you want to talk about losing my mind, dude.
Super, super duper hilarious.
Yeah, I was so I laughed so much. Yep. Anyway, that story will have to come out another time because I had to remember all the details of it. I can't really remember all the details exactly, but yeah, I was sad.
Well, that's enough belly aching. Sorry, I kind of instigated that, but I just kind of get a little bit down about this whole leasing thing because there's a couple things to it. Like, it kind of hurts my heart to just have to lease ground. Mm-hmm. I think it's just the way I am with money. I'm just kind of tight sometimes, and it just doesn't feel good. Like, I want things to make sense, and we're at a point economically where you can't make – if you're, like, trying to feed yourself off a deer, you can't make it make sense to lease ground. You know.
Yeah.
You were looking at meat hunts full ago. I kind of just, like, end up 3 clicks in, and you're, like, on some high fence thing just kind of looking at some some numbers, right? Wasn't there like a
Well, it
meat
was
hunt?
high and low fence, but it was like a it's a ranch. A guy who has some money to buy ranches and stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he had a.
Like $1,800 for a
I
meat
don't
hunt.
remember what it was, but it was way too expensive. Yeah, I think you're right, something like that.
Yeah.
And
I
mean, you get a coal buck, but it's whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
It's God's choice. So I don't know if you like discuss that with your guide or not before.
You might have to be doing a little preemptive tipping on a deal like that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think if I was gonna go meat hunt, there's probably somebody in most people's network that, not everybody, but most people's network probably has somebody that would let them come shoot a doe or two.
Yeah. In fact, I don't think I've told that story on the podcast. I have a friend named Hunter who had never killed a deer before, and he came out on my property the other day, and I went with him. He's one of my former kids in my youth group, and we did the whole muzzleloader thing, which they have a special muzzleloader season in Texas, and set up in a ground blind over some corn, made the deer real patternable, and shot a doe at like 40 yards with a muzzleloader. First deer ever. It's pretty cool, man. It was, I don't know, kind of made me, like, kind of what you're saying, like, I'm really thankful to have a property. I know I was kind of crying being a, wet blanket will I go about not having a legal buck, but, the guy got to shoot his first deer ever on the place, and he's pretty happy with it. So, I don't know. It's worth doing,
Yep, it is.
It's just
There's some good meat.
yeah, tinies.
Yep, but he didn't spend $1,800 to shoot it.
That's it. There's plenty of does to shoot too.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the thing. It's like, if I'm being honest, I'm a buck hunter. I haven't killed a doe in a very long time.
Let's go, dude.
A very long time. I mean, the last doe I killed was an East Texas doe, and you were there and filmed it. I think that's on our YouTube channel.
Man, is that the last time I killed a doe? No, I killed one in 2019.
You killed one last year.
I did.
Yeah.
On buck truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a doe killer.
Yeah.
Dadgummit, I didn't know that. I didn't know that about myself. Oh man. Yeah, I guess I'll shoot one every once in a while.
Yeah.
Last year, 2022 was a kind of a rough year for me, so
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty happy to shoot that doe. Actually, real happy.
Yeah.
I was happy to shoot the one in 2019 too, because that thing was mondo.
And then you shot a bunch more stuff after that when we did. You were like kind of in a meat crisis, and all of a sudden you kill all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Hmm.
Giant antelope.
All those jantaloupes. Speaking of Janice.
Jaundice, isn't that what you accidentally
No,
called it
that's
the other day?
Michael. Giannis Patelis is coming hunting with us next week. We'll have some podcasts and different stuff with Giannis after that trip that we'll put out. So if you have anything you want to ask Giannis or whatever, send us a message and we'll be sure and convey it. But be nice to him because he's kind of fragile, I think, after talking to him a few times. But
Hey, dude.
he's not going to listen to the podcast, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But so you did a little hog hunting recently, Tyler.
Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
Terrible.
Why is that?
Because I don't know. I think I'd rather say something different than answer that question, if that's okay with you.
What would you like to talk about?
I will talk about the hog. I just want to say it a different way than answering the question that you asked me.
Okay.
So we went hog hunting, and I ended up, we don't really know most of the time until we were just like in the moment, but I ended up the shooter. We sat around, we had pigs patterned, and they did not do what they had been doing. The old nomadic pig sounder.
We have a theory on this, or I do. I don't know if you subscribe to it or not. Tell me what you think. I feel like pigs do the same thing.
I subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Just making sure. I do subscribe to that one.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So pigs kind of do this thing where for about 4 to 7 days they do a pattern, and it's almost like guaranteed they'll change after about a week. Hey, do you feel like that it seems that way too, or like they'll have a lapse or something happens?
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, it's hard to know like what's coinciding with weather patterns and what's coinciding with just the sounder was moving in a different nomadic direction.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, we might have been there on the day that they moved their
They've done the
patterns.
same thing for 5 days straight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't do it that day. Well, we were waiting right before dark. We're just still waiting, but we're kind of getting goofy because we're like, oh, this is dumb. We're sitting out here, and they changed their pattern after 5 days of doing this, and now we're just going to sit out here till dark. We're going to have to cross back over this raging river in the, in the dark. And
yeah, we're doing the John boat thing, like you saw in that Me-Year episode. It's just kind of become common occurrence for us now to just go across
get
the
flooded
river
out of our
and
places.
Jump. Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, it's getting probably 10 minutes left of camera light, maybe. Of like good light that you would want a video shooting a hog in, big old dark subject, and we see Greg spots a pig, I think, and so we're looking through all this timber, and this lone pig is going towards our feeder a couple hundred yards away. So it's kind of wet, but the leaves, in the dry parts, the leaves are kind of crunchy, so it's kind of a noisy walk up, but I actually felt like the water was a little quieter than walking across the leaves and grass. So try to stay in the low spots, walk through the water, and we're racing the clock at this point because it's getting dark quick, and we got to try to get a shot at this pig. I mean, we've got 5 dudes standing out there. Most of them have cameras on, multiple cameras with them, and it's we're trying to get up here and get a shot at this thing. We spent a bunch of time trying to get down in here and all this and that. So I'm the shooter, and I'm feeling that pressure a little bit, I got to try to make this happen quickly. We get all the way up there. I get to where I feel like I'm, maybe within distance. I range him. He's the feeder's at 51, so I scoot up a few more steps, and then he kind of comes out from where he was kind of hidden from me, and I stop. And he kind of feeds out, and then he looks over at us, and we're all pretty still, but, I mean, we're several Sasquatches in the middle of open timber in February, January, whatever it was. And so he sees us, but he kind of goes back to feeding. And you have a theory that it was basically the fact that he's a big boar, and he's not used to having to really be scared of stuff. He doesn't see many people down in this wild country we're in. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. And so he goes back to eating. And
they kind of do this thing whenever they're eating by themselves where they kind of do figure eights. It's they eat a little bit, and they take a couple steps and look around, and then kind of turn back around and eat a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty with it. They know there's, they're definitely a hard animal just to go to stalking on.
Yeah.
And
they don't see as well as a deer does. I think it's a little bit, we probably do this. But we underplay their actual abilities. They can see fine.
Mm-hmm.
They can see about like we can probably. Their visual acuity isn't super high, but they ain't blind.
Right.
And they hear okay, but not anything crazy good.
Yeah.
So they just, but they're smart, so they play into those things. It's not they can't see very good, and that just makes them easy to kill.
Yeah.
And, they know they can't, so they move around and they do stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe I shouldn't say they know they can't, but they know how to survive with what they have.
Yeah, for sure. So in other words, they're moving around, so they don't have many blind spots. So he sees us, but he goes back to feeding, and he kind of goes back across kind of behind this tree or whatever. I range him. I get 44 I think it's 45. And so I dial my sight to 45, and I'm like, I could try to get up there, but I feel like he's already seen me. I would have liked to got a 35-yard shot, but and I think I could have if he hadn't have come out from behind that tree he was originally behind feeding, which is the case a lot of times with these pigs because they move so much. And anyway, so I dial it to 45. I feel I've been shooting this bow that I've been shooting. I shot it all season. I shot it really well during deer season. It's a long ATA bow, 34, or relatively long, and I felt good about it. So I he comes around and comes back towards the feeder, feeding, and he's like behind a tree kind of coming out. So I draw back when he's behind the tree. He steps out, and he's still like really close to being by that tree. So I just hold, and I'm like, I kind of ask KC, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, I think it's good, I mean.
I'm trying to range for you. I don't know if you're hearing me or not.
I don't think I was. No.
But we got to a point where you were far enough in front of me that I was like, this might be hurting more than helping because you were going to have to do math to be like, okay. And you didn't know how far behind I was probably because you weren't looking back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I had a good range on him.
Yeah.
And the one thing is I hadn't shot my bow at a target in a while. So who knows like how tuned it is. But I had forgotten about this, and I'd forgotten that my bow, the last time that I had shot and messed with it a little bit, it was shooting a little bit low, which isn't usually, I'm okay with it shooting a little bit low in most cases, but I think out at 45, it's shooting pretty low. And I found that out yesterday shooting it out in the yard, that it was shooting low. And so that didn't help me necessarily in this situation because I end up shooting this pig at 45 when he steps out, and I feel great about it. I felt like as far as like just holding the dot on a 45-yard target, I felt like I was as good as it could get, man. Pull the trigger, and it happens fast, takes off. We try to review the footage. It doesn't look like a great hit. Broadhead got busted up pretty good, but he's bleeding pretty good. So we follow. Long story short, man, we follow him for a couple hundred yards, and he gets to a river. And
a flowing river, not a East Texas dry bed river.
Yeah, and he daggum swims that thing, and we don't see any tracks on either side of on the other side of the river anywhere, and there's blood in the tracks on this side of the river. But it's pretty good, but like if you've been on a bunch of blood trails, it's kind of that false, like you feel pretty good about it. But I think it's probably on film. Me, like early on, I'm like, man, it's going to be one of those blood trails that just you feel good, but it's not good. It's not a good blood trail. They got a lot of blood in them. And so anyway, he crossed that river. That goes on to other property. I have no clue how to get in touch with anybody in Texas, apparently, especially East Texas, because we're looking for a lease still. And I've been here for forever. So anyway, he's gone. There's no way to get him. It's dark, and that's the way that one ended. We come to find out the shot was a touch forward and low, and he ducks into would have been good probably up and down the way he ducks, but he also turned out, and that didn't help things because I think because he saw us, he was more on edge. And I think that if he hadn't seen us, I think there's a potential that he just ducks the string and I get enough penetration that it, in that shoulder that it kills him. But he had seen us. So he ducks, turns out, and by the time he turns out, it just basically kind of buries kind of down. It's like he's almost going away from me when it hits kind of his.
You about near just put it like back of the tricep, dead into the bone, and that's all that happened.
Yeah.
Like he for sure didn't die from that.
Yeah. So frustrating. You hate when you have a big old team of dudes out there trying to make cool videos. You hate to feel like you let them down. So that was mainly my main frustration with it. But it was a cool pig, big yellow boar with brown spots, So
yeah.
Anyway, that was our pig hunting lately.
They're not as easy to kill as
and then,
what they might be
not.
portrayed to be.
Especially when it rains 8 inches in 2 days.
There's a couple things, right? You don't really want to put a bunch of videos of just some close encounters together. Nobody does, really. So, like, hogs are portrayed as getting killed when you see them in videos. Deer, like, people like Bill Winke and good storytellers will, like, have a season-long quest for a big deer and show them, like, 7 times and stuff, throughout the year and finally kill them, and it's like, oh, that was awesome. Nobody really does that with a pig. So when you see people pig hunting, they usually kill them. That doesn't mean that they go on any less stalks or have any more or less failed encounters with pigs than they do deer, and I think that we see that pretty often. They're easier to kill than deer, like absolutely. I don't want to kind of make that out to be something it's not, but they aren't like prairie dogs.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, okay, we're gonna go out and shoot a bunch of them. Like it's just not really how it works.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny too. You see, like we have a pretty popular video on YouTube where there's like 25 80-pound pigs come in on me, and people are like, you need a fully auto, and it's like, well, I had to get like 4 shots off on a full auto before like you can't see the pigs anymore. Like I don't know. It's just the world isn't what it seems sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. For sure, man. I've been teaching Journey that. She says it to me all the time now. You can't trust everything you see on the internet.
It's a good lesson to learn, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the boomers are gonna have a hard time this election cycle, man.
Yeah.
With the AI stuff.
Shoot, I will.
I know it. It's
I
tough.
feel like I was watching a commercial the other day. I was like, that person is AI. They have to be.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my dad the other day, he's pretty slick. He ain't no dummy, but he was like distraught. He was telling me, he's like, listen, there ain't no way. But I was watching one of your YouTube videos. And so here's the thing with boomers for sure. They don't understand that we don't have control over the ads that are run on our YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
So they're always
Millennials
like,
too.
hey, you got to do something about that. It's like, you got to do something about your algorithm, sir. But it wasn't really that. But he was like, hey, you need to, this ad didn't make any sense. It was Donald Trump, but he was saying things that Donald Trump wouldn't say. And I was like, yeah, it's an AI generated like dialogue. And
creepy,
dude,
doesn't Joe Rogan have some stuff?
Yeah, I hear it all the time.
It's like AI.
Yeah, you can get $650 free from the U.S. government. And it's like they're hiding this. They don't want you to know. And it ain't good. There ain't no such thing as free money, especially from the government. So first of all,
I looked into some AI stuff the other day.
Yeah,
and it all costs money. I feel like to do right.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's really no productive thing that can be generated from free AI, right?
At least high quality.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So but more creative stuff and more in-depth production stuff is all like paid AI.
I don't know too much about it, but I know a little bit, and it's kind of like AI is like its own internet kind of thing. It's hard to describe, right? But the internet's we kind of see it as like endless, and then like there's this place where stuff exists, and AI is kind of like that. And there's like zones of AI, and certain people own certain zones and the rights to do things within AI. And so there's like some licensing type stuff. Michael's thinking about it. Michael's over there. He doesn't have headphones. Do you understand that or hear anything about that? Michael don't know.
I mean, how do they have rights? I mean, I guess they have rights to what AI can produce. A certain AI can produce. Like, can some?
Well, there's people that wrote the programs or whatever originally.
Yeah. So and they would retain the rights probably to like something because that AI does something particular.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a place, or will there be a place? And maybe this is a dumb question. It doesn't even make sense. That the internet is a catch-all for everything, just like in the world. Will there be like an AI that is just like it will do anything you want it to, and you just
potentially
for $99 a month if you want it to generate a person or a voice or a song or like I may be behind it because I don't pay a whole lot of attention to this stuff, but maybe there already is something like that. But or it'll write you an article, or it'll do any kind of commercial that you want produced or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as you hear from time to time, I think anything's on the table on that front, and it's not really a good thing.
Yeah,
in my opinion, but
Dude,
that
AI
is the boomer
creepy
coming
to
out
me.
in me. Well, you got to be born before 82 to be Gen X.
See,
right?
I don't know all these generations.
I like doing that stuff. I think it's fun.
I know it's one of your favorite things.
It
to do
is,
these
man.
days.
Well, it's just like pointing out that the different generations that we have around here.
There's only one different generation in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you like pointed out.
Yeah.
Is there a generation below Michael?
Maybe. I mean, yes.
Zoomer. What's a Zoomer?
Is a Zoomer and a Gen Z
You're a Zoomer?
different? Zoomer. Is it just like certain subcategories of Gen Z? I feel like iPad kids and Zoomers are the same thing.
There has to be something. There has to be something generationally that AI like affects.
Oh,
so
you
that
think
the
that
kids that grow up with AI
they're the generation?
are going to be
Maybe.
their own denomination.
Is it? But the internet didn't kind of determine a new generation from us, right?
I don't know.
Millennials mean you were born before 2000.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what the here.
We're off too far on this.
Let me just
Look it up, Jamie.
Fact check that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good idea.
How would you say it? Generation years, generational years, something like that. Okay, Gen Z is 1997 to 2012. Born.
Really?
Yeah.
That's big.
Millennials are 81 to 96.
I'm a dead center.
Gen X is 65 to 80.
Oh, my dad's a boomer.
And then Boomer is 55 to 64.
That's young, man. How about that?
Post-war, there's still some people that are post-war.
What
Generation.
year bracket's that?
28 to 45.
Yeah, my grandma's in that.
Mm-hmm.
My granddad just passed away. He was in that. Was there anything besides Z? Well, there's got to be. They just don't have maybe it's not named.
So what if you were born in 2015?
Yeah.
I guess you just don't have a defined like
Gen Rona, man. That's what it's gonna be.
You don't have your like
Alpha.
That is not true. No. No. Beta.
What's a
Generation
Zoomer?
Beta.
Look up what a Zoomer is. I hope it's not something bad.
Generation Jones is another name for boomers. There's a Boomers 1 and Boomers 2.
Yeah.
Was that from like Vietnam and then World War II or
no,
something?
I think it's World War II Korea.
When was Vietnam?
60s.
60s.
Mm-hmm.
Boomers 2 is 64. Korea was
55.
Interesting. So then
What's a Zoomer? Gen Z and Zoomer are synonymous.
See, Windows 97 was a pretty popular program.
Yeah.
And that's when Gen Z was started.
Is that it?
Yep.
Makes sense.
Created by Windows.
He's a Microsoft guy for sure.
Yeah. Would be eating
bugs.
vegan burgers.
Yeah. Vegan rice burgers.
What's the
Tofu?
Bill, what's his name?
Winky?
Yeah.
Belichick?
No, the IBM guy.
Snyder?
Microsoft guy, whatever. Bill Gates, yeah.
Oh.
He eats vegan burgers, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, he's nasty. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he would not like the Element podcast for sure.
Mm-mm.
I'm just wondering, like, if there's a thing, man, like if there's a technological aspect to these Gen Z and Millennials, Gen X's.
What do you mean?
Well, like how are these defined? Why are they defined a certain way? It has to be.
There's some like a thing. There's an event or something. But 97, nothing really happened.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's an event as much as it is like at 15 you had this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it defined who you kind of were as you were becoming an adult or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that's why 2012 and later don't have a generation yet.
Maybe so.
Or, sorry, Michael said there was a generation.
It's crazy to me that Gen Z is like as old as it is. Like 97, like Gen Z's almost 30.
Weird.
26, right? 27?
27.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
You know what's weird to me, too?
What's
to bring this back to hunting? Is how short of a lifespan a deer has.
Mm.
Like, it is rapid the way bucks work.
Yeah. There's only, most of the bucks in the world are Gen Alpha.
Mm-hmm. I bet you there ain't 100 bucks in the world alive that were alive in 2012.
Man, I bet there is in South Texas.
You think it's the year of our Lord 2024 currently. You think there's more than 112-year-old deer?
What was it? Oh, yeah, for sure. Was it Sean Luchtel from Heartland that posted a picture of a buck he shot the other day, and they did the tooth aging thing?
Mm-hmm.
and they thought the deer was like 6 or something, and it was 10.5, I think, something like that.
That ain't 12.
No, but that ain't far.
It ain't.
And that's there. In South Texas, there's some old heads running around, dude. I think there's for sure.
Yeah, 100's probably low. But it ain't. It's closer to 100 than it is a million for sure. What are you looking up over there now? Michael's going to have to wear headphones every time.
Yeah.
Because he's like the only one involved in our podcast.
He's kind of like our Jamie.
He is. Yeah. That's right.
You know what Jamie's short for, right? Jiminy.
I got him good earlier. What was
Jiminy
it?
Cricket. Jim.
I said gymnasium.
GYM.
I said gymnasium. And I was like, you know what Jim's short for? No, she said gymnasium. I said, no, James.
Got him.
Yeah. And then I said Gemstone after that, too.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Mm-hmm. It all makes sense. Jameis.
Winston.
Right? Winston.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I
I like him, dude.
Dude,
his interviews are hilarious.
He kind of like matured into like goofy, but like not making bad decisions as much anymore. You know, like it's pretty cool.
Well, I saw something the other day where somebody was like, "Man, if they'd have been paying they've been paying people NIL money back in the day, they wouldn't have been stealing stuff." You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
These guys are buying Lambos now in college. You know? It's like,
Michael for sure needs the headphones on for this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Ohio State's best coach ever got fired because some guys got free tattoos, right?
Who's the best coach ever?
No, he's the best coach ever. But isn't that why he got fired, because of the free tattoos?
Jim Vestal?
Yeah. And it's
James.
Golly, dude. How would you not know that Jim is short for James? You're named after that guy. Michael Tressel Stoll. Dude, he has sweater vests that he wears at night.
Oh, I've seen him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he cuts the arms out of them First Light sweaters. Whatever they're called. I can't think of whatever that thing is he's wearing there.
That's not because he's using the sleeveless. He uses the sleeves for things.
Yeah.
He like ties stuff with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like Eric and neck gaiters.
Dude, people are lost right now.
Bro, you think Charmin's expensive?
You should try $30.
You should try neck gaiters. Oh, my goodness. That's funny.
You should get a discount, dude.
Yeah. I think Eric probably knows somebody that can. I think he has to get like the solid colors, you know. They're cheaper. Not as much licensing involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, you got your camo out and ready to go?
My camo?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Why not?
Where are we going?
Where are we going?
Oh, we don't have no. That's what we were trying to do, is find places to hunt.
Well, we get to do a little hunting next week. Because Giannis is coming down to – Giannis called me up in December, I think. Maybe it was early January. He's like, hey, I need to kill more stuff with my bow. And I was like, we all do. You're right. And so it's good, man. I'm glad he acknowledges that, you know. Texas is a place you can kill more stuff. Like, I can imagine, like, our good friend Michael and our acquaintance Eric, like, they grew up in a place where you can shoot deer with a bow for 3 months. What? No, it's not. I'm not really clowning on y'all, but I'm just saying it really stinks that, like, I've taken for granted all my life having a target all the time at any point in time with pigs to shoot stuff. You know, like it's a thing, and like, and varmints and all kinds of stuff, and you know, statute of limitations ran on this. I mean, the first thing I ever killed with my bow was a cardinal. Eric, that's right. So like,
hey, I hope it is statute of
limitations. That's right.
limitations.
Well, I didn't say when it was, but
maybe it was a dream.
Huh?
Maybe it was a dream.
Maybe it was. Dreamed about it. AI. But you know, like, just ran around shooting at stuff, and it'd be real tough to, like, you know, especially maybe if you don't have public land to hunt and you're just hunting one property. You could shoot at one deer a year. It'd take you a long time to get pretty good at shooting stuff with a bow.
Let me ask you something.
Tell me about it.
How are they going to prove that AI videos are not actual videos? Is there a way to do that?
See if the people have fingerprints or not. Huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I'm just wondering.
You're still thinking
There's a
about this.
lot of implications to AI that I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what if somebody just made a video of you that was like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing? You know what I mean? I'm sure politicians are going to do that to each other.
Deep
right?
fakes have been around for a while, where they take somebody else's face or head and put it on a different body, and so like you can, it's gotten better and better. But I still don't think that like AI has not gotten to the point to where it's animated reality. You know what I mean? Like they can't make a video that really looks real. But I mean, it's just a matter of time, I guess.
It's so weird, man.
It is, man. That means that your heart matters a lot more than maybe it ever has.
Yeah.
Because what you're actually doing is what matters. Because it can appear that you're doing anything.
Yeah. I'm just going to make a bunch of videos of me shooting big bucks.
How cool would that be? I was thinking about this, dude. No joke. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, are we about to get to the point where like you don't even have to hunt? You can just animate a hunt and put it out?
For real, like, what's going to keep some other YouTube channel from popping up and having like a bunch of deer hunting videos? And
I mean, you already used the footage of Chris B's deer getting shot anyway. So
according to the internet, for sure. Yep.
I don't know.
That's my point. Is if they can't tell the difference in those two deer, then how are they going to be able to tell the difference in somebody making a channel that's just pure AI public land monsters?
You're also Steve's brother without AI too.
Yeah.
So,
I'm telling you, these people won't know the difference.
No.
In that AI buck and the real buck.
That probably means it doesn't make that much of a difference anyways, because people aren't very perceptive. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just shoot does and put cedar branches on their heads.
That'd work. One of my favorite jokes, and it's real cheesy, is just to see those people who put antlers like in front of the trail camera,
Mm-hmm.
like sheds or a mount or something like that.
Yeah.
I always think that's real funny.
There was a guy that owned a place in town, my buddy Cody.
Uh-huh.
He did that to him. He did not like it.
Yeah.
Once he told him the truth.
I bet not. I bet he didn't. It's, some jokes are real funny whenever you're the one dishing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why Michael hates you.
I know, dude. Michael is the king of being able to dish it out but not take it. That is the way he works.
Getting you. Look how silent he is off this podcast.
Silent Mike over here.
Oh, Magic Mike.
Yeah. Watch out. His headband's going to start getting lower on those eyebrows. There you go.
Yeah. We'll need some caffeine soon.
Hmm. But, anyways, next week we're going to do some pig hunting with Giannis Patelis. Hopefully we won't have them all gimped up before he gets here. And then Michael didn't know what that meant, apparently. It means that they're kind of limping or something, Michael. And then we are going to go
doing their gimp walk.
Doing a little bit of chasing stuff in South Texas. I probably won't I won't say too much what we're going to do, but it's going to be kind of exciting.
Man, just leaving them on the cliff.
That's right. It's I hope there's a cliff.
Hanging around.
We're planning on doing some Folsom style hunting where we run stuff off a cliff, I think. That'd be more meaty deer-esque, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm not too big on sharpening rocks, so you're going to have to do it for me.
Yeah. Flint napping would be a cool skill to have. I'm
too late in the coolest part of flint napping?
The end product.
No.
No, what?
I think it would be the fact that you had enough time in your day to nap a flint.
Well, you'd have to do it for money,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm at a point in my life where I can't hardly dedicate much time to anything that doesn't make a little something.
Yeah. That's
why hunting and fishing is so good, man.
I know.
Because you don't have to make money. You're just making some food.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like going catfishing when the creeks are running is worth the time because you're going to catch something.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who can go out there and sit in the middle of the lake and deep water crappie fish and maybe catch one all day.
No.
It drives me insane.
And that's my point, though, is like, man, I don't know if it's like you're at the point in your life or America is at the point in its life that there ain't free time for people.
Yeah, I don't
You know
know.
what I mean? Like, if you think about what it costs to go to the grocery store,
I don't want to.
if you think about what percentage your mortgage is of your income, it's different than it's ever been. So it's like maybe the reason you feel that way is not because you're, getting to a certain age in your life, but it's more that the country is,
I'm
pushing
definitely
that or whatever. The culture, not the country, but the culture.
I think more about moving to a different country now than I ever have in my life. And I don't know if it's because of the age I'm at or because of the political landscape we have or what, but I'm just like thinking, I'm not going to do it, but I like to think about stuff, and I see these people in other countries who, like, I don't know, say a South American country where raw goods is very highly valued and that's something that's exported, right? There's people who, like, for 4 months of the year work, and then, like, there's 8 other months that they don't do that work anymore, and they may have made all their living in those 4 months, and so then they can improve on their property or whatever they do for the other 8 months.
Farmers.
Yeah, it's kind of
American
strange.
farmers.
Yeah,
I know a few farmers over the years that work obviously real hard in the summer, and once they get the crops out, they like go vacationing and
we talked to one of those guys this week. He was real happy.
Yeah. Time of year.
That's right.
I mean,
just snow and mud fields.
Yeah, it's kind of a interesting thing for sure. But I don't know. I don't even know how to start being a farmer. I barely get my heirloom tomatoes to grow.
I just bought a soil blocker.
So that you don't have to use soil?
No. I'm not blocking it like a guard. I'm blocking it like a cube.
Like a bead, like an aim.
What is that? I don't know what that was.
Turtle man.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, a soil blocker is like instead of using trays, you like compact a bunch of dirt into these 2x2 cubes, and it makes like a air pruning tomato cell pretty much. You don't have to use the plastic things.
So you're going to air prune tomatoes that are already grown with it, or you're growing from seed?
It's where you start the seed.
Oh, okay.
In it, yeah, and you put them in the ground once they get seedling size.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You gonna make me some soil blocks?
Sure, if I can get it figured out.
I need to get seeds going. I need to get seeds ordered.
Yeah. I got seeds from last year.
I got some too.
I'm probably not gonna buy a lot of seeds.
I just can't stand it. They look so
I know
good,
it's cool,
man.
isn't it? But one of my problems has been trying to diversify too much on tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think I planted like 17 varieties and I don't even know if I ate a fresh tomato from my garden.
No,
between
last
the
year was
heat
terrible.
And then the chickens really killed me. I need to just spend money on poultry fence. That'll help me a whole lot.
I need about 100 Cherokee purple tomato plants because that is my jam.
Yeah, it's hard to beat around here's.
Yep.
They deal good with the humidity and the heat.
Mm-hmm.
It is garden season, guys. Get ready for that stuff. We don't get to do a ton of stuff during the fall with, cultivating or whatever you might call it because I like to hunt. But right now, man, I like to spend a lot of time in the garden. And I got onions and potatoes in. If you're in the South, it's time to get that done. If you're a little further north, be thinking about it. And, what if you're not on the carnivore diet, what good is a meal of meat if you don't have some sides to go with it? You might as well grow them.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of.
They're as easy as squash is to grow around here.
Yeah.
I mean,
zucchinis grow good, but what I meant to say is eggplants. We live in the land of eggplant.
Yeah, I like squash way better than
Me
eggplant.
too. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to grow something that will grow, it'll do it. I just haven't found a good use for an eggplant yet.
Yeah, and I can grow them squashes. Grow good out here in this sandy soil.
My soil's too dry. You got a little bit more darkness to yours. But we are fixing to have a video on the Element YouTube channel that is like nothing we have ever done before. In fact, it's the first time I ever did it. We videoed it. we took the meat of a deer and we put it into glass jars and pressure cooked it. It's called canning deer meat. And it's a thing, like, back to Michael over here. It's a thing Michael grew up doing. Or he grew up eating it, at least. And we don't really do it in the South. At least nobody I know does it. But I started trying doing it. And now that I have canned some deer meat, I kind of want to can all kinds of stuff. You know, we always water bath can doing jellies and stuff like that, or salsa. But pressure canning opens up a whole new world. You can pressure can anything. Like, I don't know if there's a type of food you couldn't pressure can. So, you talk about meals on the go, man. I ate some today, and it was good.
Yeah, I tasted it. It was really good.
Yeah.
Tasted it when we ate it for lunch when we were doing some fishing the other day.
Yeah, barbecue sandwiches.
Yeah.
We're probably going to eat a decent amount of that stuff on the road this fall. And it's a lot healthier than eating out. And we don't ever buy red meat, but we do eat out when we're on the road and stuff sometimes. And, you know, when we kill something, we eat some pizza. But, you know, it's just another way to kind of live off the land a little bit more, not rely on a freezer, which is kind of a big deal, I think. You know, if the power goes out when it's a hot time of year, you got to have something to eat. So, be kind of nice for some self-reliance, which I think a lot of people are interested in right now. I don't know if that's going to be out by the time this podcast launches, but it'll be out soon. So go, if you haven't, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see that stuff. Because I think I like the way this video's turning out. It's going to be pretty cool, pretty informative, and yeah, a little bit kind of lighthearted. So I kind of like just sharing information, and you know, I don't really portray myself as an expert in this thing too much, but it's kind of like, hey, we're trying this, and y'all can maybe have a little help with the learning curve as we show you what works and what doesn't. So remember to check that out on the YouTube channel, and remember, this is your element. Live in it.